advisor for President Trump and experience being ousted by him, John Bolton, who held that role in the first Trump administration, and as we mentioned, also served as U.S. ambassador to the UN years earlier, which is what Mike Waltz will be nominated for. Ambassador, good to have you on. Obviously, representing the U.S. at the UN is an important job. Do you believe Vice President Vance, his claim that Mike Waltz is leaving his job not because of the signal scandal, but because the White House wanted to promote him?
Of course not. I mean, I think it really just shows how little about national security J.D. Vance knows. If you took 100 people anywhere in this country who know anything about national security, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, and asked them objectively, do you think national security advisor or UN ambassador is the more important job? I will bet a small amount, I will bet a large amount of money that 90 out of 100, if not 99 out of 100, would say national security advisor is the more important job.
By the way, you have a lot of credibility on this, given that you've held both of these positions. So in your opinion, having been the U.S. ambassador to the UN, you say the national security advisor is a more important job.
I don't think there's any question about it. I love being UN ambassador. Don't get me wrong, yeah. but it doesn't compare. I think what Caitlin Collins just said about Trump making the decision this morning is interesting. That was my sense that this news that Waltz was imminently on his way out. Not that he was just a dead man walking and would go maybe in August or at some point. So that nobody could claim Trump had bowed to media or Democratic political pressure, and somehow it took on a life of its own, and Trump wanted to find a way to ease the passage. They had a vacancy given Elise Stefanik's nomination had been pulled, and somebody said, maybe Trump himself, hey, why don't we give the UN job to Mike Waltz? It was also pretty clear that they had not picked a successor, whatever the state of play in Waltz's departure was. An organized White House would announce the successor immediately. And the fact that they didn't have a successor showed they weren't ready to make the announcement. And to have Marco Rubio serve on an interim basis is just absolutely bizarre. I mean, compare this with Richard Nixon in the depths of Watergate, almost about to lose his job. He loses William Rogers as Secretary of State. He nominates Kissinger because he knows he can get Kissinger confirmed. There's only one Henry Kissinger. And then serving through Nixon's resignation. What kind of look is that for the Trump administration?
I mean, also, Lara Loomer, who's a MAGA influencer, had been in the Oval Office with a list of people she thought the president should fire. A number of Mike Waltz's people around him were part of that group who actually got let go before this. I don't know if this is a victory for her as well. You've been critical both of Waltz but also Pete Hegseth as defense secretary. I mean, Waltz at least has a background in what he was working on as national security advisor. Does it surprise you that Hegseth, who actually shared sensitive information on Signal about an imminent military operation, is still in that position?
Well, I think he's a dead man walking, too. I think they don't want to have two go at the same time, so I think Hegseth has more time. And we don't know exactly what influence Lara Loomer had in Mike Waltz's departure, but if she had any, this really is the inmates running the asylum. I mean, the notion that a person like that can have any influence over presidential personnel decisions.
Well, I mean, she wanted the
NSA.
NSA.
Extraordinary.
The NSA head out, and he was let go.
Yeah, that's extraordinary too. I mean, I think this is a point where I disagree with some of the analysts on what was the real cause of Waltz going, because I think it also says something important about Trump. People say with great confidence, "Oh well, Waltz wasn't in tune with the president, and that's why he had to go." Well, who hired Waltz? I mean, who knows who's in tune with the president better than the president? This shows Trump has no philosophy, no national security strategy, doesn't do policy. He hired Waltz and many other people because he expected fealty from them. And when Waltz exposed Trump to political liability because of the Signal group chat, that was all Trump needed. That was not sufficient fealty. That's what the cause of the departure is.
This is par for the course. I mean, this is exactly what you experienced, what you saw during the first administration in terms of how Trump makes decisions, particularly with involving national security, foreign policy.
Yeah, these are random neuron flashes. This is not Trump playing three-dimensional chess, as his advocates say.
Neuron
this
flashes?
is Trump.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Trump playing regular chess, one move at a time, and no further ahead than that.
That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, well, I must say it was a struggle to try and keep the wheels of government moving in the Trump administration. That's why I compared it to living inside a pinball machine rather than making coherent national security policy.
Ambassador John Bolton, thanks for being on. Perspective now from former Middle East and North